Hello everybody and welcome to Briar Rose Cottage, and we're in the kitchen today. And today I'm working on the second round of chokecherry mash. Let's see if I can find that's a I got that light behind me. That's a chokecherry. They hang in clumps like grapes. They hang on bushes in clumps like grapes. They produce this lovely juice, and I'm gonna go fix this. At least a bit. Maybe I need to turn the light on. Filming is never perfect. Maybe we'll just turn it this way there, and then my head's in the way. It does stain. But just use whatever you don't care about. So turns out I'm wearing the right color clothing. So this is what I'm smashing so that when I drain it I can get that. Okay. I already have about 8 cups from last night in the refrigerator, which is why I haven't added it to ice maker. Added the warm too. I'm finding this is much easier than what I normally do. Normally I press it through the sieve, but I destroyed a sieve several years ago doing that. Kirk got me hooked on this stuff. I would have done this video earlier, but I'm so grumpy today. One episode of Remy Clog, she talked about house cleaning as self-soothing. So I did some, and she's right, it is self-soothing. And I killed flies, because they're bad again this year. Not as bad as last year, but they're still very annoying. So I just saved the mash in this container, and then added, to rinse out the container, I added some water. Because I could tell that a lot of the berries are whole. And as you can see, a lot of these chokecherries are whole. And they're called chokecherries. I'm not sure about the choke part, but let's see if I can find one here. But they have this pit thing. This pit thing in the middle, like a cherry pit. And oh, my brain. I have migraine. That's part of the reason I woke up so angry today. It's 3 days of it not going, settling down, because it never goes away, but 3 days of headache, massive headache, and it's like, grrr, I want to kill stuff, I want to punch stuff. But yes, so here I am, 1st of September, and that's why I'm making this video, because I figured it was the perfect chokecherries, stewing up chokecherries for chokecherry syrup. Is the perfect crossover from summer into autumn, as chokecherries come out later in August. They were kind of shriveling when I was up out at Arm Lake picking and stuff, but there was still a bunch out there. I might go and try and get some more. We'll see how much juice I get all together. Anyways, my thoughts on August was I'm very proud with myself with how summer went. You know, there are still lots of projects half done and unfinished, and I got still a ton of work to finish in September. And this month is going to go by so quickly. We have schools already back in here. Kids are back at school already. I remember the days in my reminiscent moment, when we used to love when September 1st landed, like before the weekend, because that meant you went to school, back to school later, and you got to, you know, it was like about the 4th or the 5th by the time you know, if you're really lucky, it was the 7th. And you got to squeak summer out just that little bit longer. But I've noticed via friends' kids and the school across the road that they have more time off, and they go, and it's weird. School's weird. Mind you, that's the difference between BC and Alberta too, as well. I can't speak for any of the other provinces or the territories, because I went to school in BC. Penticton and Kelowna, where I, not Penticton and Kelowna, Penticton and Quesnel, where I predominantly grew up. So yes, very weird for me, different school systems. But anyways, back to this. Last night when I did this, it was hard boil, right up on high for a while, just to kind of soften these suckers up. And you do need quite a bit of chokecherries to get any amount of juice, because of the fact that they are so tiny and they have that big pit in the middle. Meow meow, Miss Morgana. A little warm today to be doing this, but crap, spilling all over the world. I didn't think I would splash quite that far and get it on my pants. Don't mind on the floor, I don't care. At some point I'm replacing this horrid, awful lino that I'm not in love with something else. Even if it's just, they've got paint now, you can paint over your lino. I'll do that, paint it any color other than the sand with gray, because it always looks dirty. Everything looks dirty. It's why I'm not in love with beige walls, because no matter how much you wash it, they always look dirty. So I'm getting more mash and less berries, and more pits floating on the top. I've got it on 4. I think I can probably turn this down again to 3. 3 is about halfway between min and medium. So basically, yes, what you're doing is you're just trying to separate out, make a mash, kind of like you see them doing with grapes. I was thinking a press would work really good. Juicer does not work. It makes the most horrid sound as the pits in there, and it sounds like you're breaking your juicer. Not worth it. Way too noisy for any of us who are sensitive to sound, which is definitely me with my auditory processing disorder. And that's a hearing disorder that's located in the brain, and not has nothing to do with your ears, actually. Because if you go get a hearing test, often on a hearing test you'll register where you're supposed to for your age, even though you might feel deaf and you're not hearing things right and all that other kind of stuff. It's your brain isn't processing speech and sound properly. So loud noises are sharp and obnoxious. The one noise that drives me nuts and absolutely, besides kids shrieking because it's so sharp, is cupboards banging. So if somebody lets go of a cupboard and it sits there and goes bump, 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 that's my fingernails on a chalkboard. So yes, I'm just standing over my warm stove. Oh God, I can't wait to get the garage set up for outdoor kitchen where if there's any kind of a breeze, and there is, the heat's out there. Yeah. So I would suggest that, depending on how you're doing this, to just boil it, keep adding water. As long as you've got a nice, good dark color in there, you're good. That means you still got actual flavor. Anything lighter, you're losing your flavor. Get myself a jar. This is chokecherries are very trying to get the juice is very labor intensive. And from today's, I've already got like about 6 cups of juice. And there, beautiful, beautiful juice. With still lots of taste. It is sour. So that's maybe where the choke comes from. In there. And I'm just going to keep mashing until I feel like I've got all the berries and stuff and that kind of thing. And just give this a stir. Okay. So yes, anyways, as we are we've now crossed that with the back to school and the leaves are definitely turning and falling, and we have Canada geese all over the place. And oh, I saw jays this morning when I couldn't sleep. There was, I think, 4 of them out front eating up sunflower seeds. And that was kind of nice. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to talk and think of things to say and do this at the same time. I think that's why I don't do a lot of, hey, let's do recipes, and I know that's why I don't do tutorials. So I'm going to turn this off because I've got sort of a lava bubble thing going in here. Splat. Okay. And I have to add some more water, I'm thinking. You might even be able to get a good squish with a metal label, but this plastic one, not so much. It bends and things like that. Shake. But yes, you want as much of the liquid as you possibly can. So yes, it's warmed up. The weather is hot again. We did get some rain the other day, so I didn't have to water. It was nice to wake up yesterday to rain, and it rained quite a bit. So yes, definitely meant no watering. And like I said, I saw like 4 blue jays. The day before, when I looked out in the morning and saw birds out there, there was so many blackbirds out there. It looked like an episode out of The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock. I learned something about that video is the scene in the attic, so spoiler a little bit, where the birds are attacking her. He actually tied birds to her, so I do believe the actress's name is Tippi Hedren, and she was actually freaking out because the birds couldn't fly away from her, so they were flying at her because they were tied with string to her. It's one of the ways that he was able to get more realism out of his actors. Maybe a little sick and twisted. And traumatic for her, you know. I imagine that after that movie was done, she wasn't... She was afraid of birds after that, and I wouldn't blame her. I usually don't joke about phobias. Don't play there. So, okay. I need to add some more water to this and bring it back up to that medium boil because I still got whole berries. And do some more smashing. I do have a question because as a child, I was raised that this was called a potato ricer, not a potato masher. That is what we called a potato masher. Mom called this a potato ricer. Now, in the land of all things being equal, it probably doesn't matter what you call either one. But I'm thinking it's the same thing as, depending on who's hanging out with who, as the pancake flipper, or is it a spatula? And do you call the thing that I call a spatula a scraper? Scraper. I call this a spatula. Now, I suppose it depends on where you grew up and who called what. But maybe none of us are wrong. It's just weird. But that, for me, was a potato ricer. So I'm using it because it's got a smaller weave to do a smash. Probably if I had something with a complete flat, probably would be better. So it looks like I got about another 4 cups of juice, of good juice in my measuring cup for the chokecherry stuff. That secondary adding of liquid will be the last time because otherwise I think I'm just boiling pits and skins and not necessarily getting good flavor. And you do want good flavor, so that type of thing. So back to summer going into autumn. So we have Sumner. No, what was I going to call it? I was going to call it Sumtum. That in between, that be silly in the in between time. It looks like we're going to have the weather coming up in September. It's going to be nice, maybe with rain, and it's going to get cooler. It's going to be that beautiful autumn time. But at the same time, wait for October. And then, boom, we're going to get winter. That is probably what's going to happen here. But no snow geese yet. So when I start seeing snow geese, then I'll start winding gardening and yard work and everything and start focusing more on being inside the house. Because when the snow geese move down from the north, that means winter is definitely coming. Those guys don't move until they absolutely have to. And that kind of thing. So, but I'm very happy with progress, you know, this summer, spring into summer, going into autumn. I got plates up that I had sitting. I finally got my plate hangers. I've been making more videos. I've been out and being more active, which seems to have helped with my Raynaud's disease syndrome. So all frustrating things aside, I'm really happy. So on this first day of September, I'm feeling good about where things are going. And on that note, just because I want to keep this kind of quick, be kind, especially to yourself. And don't forget to pat yourself in the back when you've done something good. Peace, love, and happiness. And when I'm ready to make the chokecherry syrup, I misplaced my recipe, so I gotta go find it. When I'm ready to actually make the chokecherry syrup, I will try and get a video together for that on how to do it. Because I'm sure that Mennonite recipe, I think it's Mennonite Girls Can Cook or something like that, can be used for blueberries, Saskatoon berries, strawberries, rhubarb, all sorts of stuff. The only difference with all of those, no pits. No pits at all whatsoever. I think it would make a nice lovely apple syrup, a spiced apple syrup too as well. So until next time, from me to you, peace, love, and happiness, and bye-bye.